What's up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Mario, episode 76, and we are the Nintendo podcast, a part of the 8-Bit Collective. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and joining me, as always, is my best buddy, Bryce DeWitt.
Hello, I never knew my name was Bryce.
Bryce
DeWitt.
This is the last episode of 2018, and this is going to be a holiday sort of non-Nintendo episode.
Jamboree. I mean, there will be Nintendo talk in there somewhere because it's just
because we can't help it.
It's part of our being.
It is. It's just in the DNA there somewhere.
It is. Yeah. So to crack off this episode, we're going to crack our last podcast beer of the year.
It's a Bulmer's cider.
It's close enough.
I really didn't get much of a crack out of that. That was disappointing. I was hoping for the nice audio cue, but
see, that's why we need cans.
No, well, let's do the cheers.
Cheers.
Get the chink in there at least.
The clink. There you go.
So, I'll throw it to you, Bryce. What do you want to talk about to start off with?
All right. So, I just want to very, very lightly cap on just what an amazing year we've had growing as a podcast real quick. And the things we've done this year to sort of push on the podcast, and I want a bit of a cheers to that. It hasn't just been us either, but it's been everyone around us as well. We've all sort of grown together. All our communities were pushing that work and doing all sorts of different things. We went to Avcon obviously, and we talked to a bunch of people, whether it be of famous status or indie developers or something like that. And we also went to PAX and met up with a lot of people that we've been working with over the past year. Obviously, you knew a handful of them for the most part.
Yeah.
You didn't know every single one, but...
No, I did not know every single one.
Exactly. And we spent a lot of time with those guys and drank some beer every night.
It was great,
PAX, and it was fantastic.
Well, just going back to the start of the year when we actually joined the 8-Bit Collective.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Along with the other guys, it was just it's been a great ride so far.
It has, yeah.
Like I've always enjoyed what Jono's been doing, what Cruzy's been doing, what especially what Dash and Buddy's been doing.
Yeah,
and when I noticed all those guys were joining together, I put my hand up and said, "Hey, we're interested as well." And
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, look where we are now.
Yeah, the opportunities it's allowed us this year, just with Avcon and PAX alone.
PAX was crazy, man. Like this was my first PAX. It's obviously not your first.
Yeah.
But it was my first PAX, and I met so many people, so many people, and made so many friends, and we spent a lot of time together as the 8-Bit Collective, or just a whole bunch of people hanging out from whether it be like Explosion Network, Player 2, whatever. We've got such an amazing community here in Australia.
We do.
It's awesome, yeah. Absolutely. Like, PAX is like it's almost like our staff show in some sort of a sense, really, isn't it? Like,
I guess,
we spend a lot of time at PAX, obviously, but then after PAX is done for the day, we head to a pub and we all meet up, and it's fantastic.
It's like everyone, all I hear about Twitter is that it's so negative and blah blah blah. But I always have such a positive experience with Twitter, like social media, and I know that's because obviously I've got a small amount of followers and I follow a small amount of people. Yeah. So you're not exposed to the assholes necessarily, but absolutely love going on Twitter each day, seeing everyone out there doing their own thing.
I never thought I'd use Twitter, to be completely honest with you, because with Facebook it's so obviously I've got a lot of my personal friends there and stuff like that, but Twitter's just opened a whole new world to me this year.
Same as to me. I've it actually reminded me the other day that I've had Twitter for 7 years.
Yeah.
I've only really been using Twitter for maybe the last, I guess, year and a half. Yeah, pretty much since the podcast started, really. Yeah. Just when I got to meet a lot of these people and they were using Twitter. Yeah. I initially met Jono Peck through Twitter because he was asking, hey, is there any other kind of funny fans at RTX? And that's how I met up with a lot of these guys who form the Explosion Network and Yeah, I can't remember exactly. It's kind of blurry who I met there and who just sort of I met online afterwards.
Yeah, yeah. It does get a bit like that, really. I suppose. But for me, it was like, hey, I met a lot of these people doing the podcast, or just interacting with them on Twitter and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden at PAX I was spending every day with them, sort of thing, for 5 days. And I mean, it was brilliant. We weren't obviously in each other's pockets all the time, but
no.
As I really wanted to see Dash, and Dash, I'm going to make sure I gun for you next year, which because I owe you a hug. You're a beautiful man. But the amount of time
I'll hug him first. I'll get into him first.
Like even just the time we spent with Buddy, we spent a lot of time with Buddy.
Yeah.
And we finally made do on some of that Mario Tennis, which he kicked my ass at, but then I beat him in Mario Party.
Yeah, I never even bothered to verse him at Mario Tennis. I looked at my player stats on the Switch the other day. Actually, I played it says I've played. It was like 1 or 2 hours. It was like nothing. Mario Tennis.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've played more than 2 hours, but I have not played much. I just sort of, I guess that episode we did with Dash and Buddy, when we were talking about it really actually put me off going back to it.
It did. Yeah.
Like, even if the game itself, the multiplayer,
I don't think it's the most awful game in the world.
No.
I think it's definitely one of the better Mario Tennis games. I just think that episode,
it's definitely better than Ultra Smash.
I don't think anything could be worse than Ultra Smash, but it was just sort of like that episode sort of brought us to the negatives of it and how sort of really rushed that game felt, and it does. Like, in comparison of everything else you think about that year, like it does. It just feels rushed.
This year.
This year. I suppose we are still recording this year, but it does. It feels rushed. But yeah, I mean, that aside, that Mario Tennis aside, obviously.
Yeah, see,
we
fall down these rabbit holes like
we do.
Yeah, we love it. we love rabbit holes.
When you go to PAX, for anybody that's never been, when you go to PAX, the convention center is right next to 2 bars, and that's usually where we headed 90% of the time after PAX.
Well, it's like a whole street of restaurants and bars, yeah,
essentially, yeah. So there was the boat shed, and what was the other one?
Something I forgot now.
Oh yeah,
something wharf, was it?
I don't know.
We got all the other guys that went to PAX just been like, it's this, yelling at your iPod Nanos, because everyone's still listening to the podcast on the iPod. I remember the days of the first podcast I really got into was Nontendo Voice Chat. I remember it used to come out every Thursday morning, and that used to be ripe for my photography class. Because photography, I'm just there on Photoshop, just clicking, and what I had to do was I had to go on the computer, open it up, download the podcast, plug in my yellow iPod Nano, load it onto it. It's crazy to think now, like, I check in the morning, everything's just downloaded already.
Yeah. It's definitely completely different to what it was back then.
Yeah,
which is great, because like I obviously love this medium, and like while I don't always sit down and I usually listen to podcasts on my commute more than anything. Like when I'm at home doing stuff, I'm usually watching a video or catching up on things like that. It's definitely the strongest medium for me, because I like discussional, sort of top, like, based medias. So, but to round it off, I guess I just because again, I said I wanted to lightly talk about it. It's been an incredible year for us, and I just wanted to give a cheers to everybody in this community that really opened my eyes to how strong we actually are when we work together and do all these things. And
yeah, definitely.
And I can't wait for a brighter 2019, and hopefully we can make even more memories.
So, I don't know, just off the top of our heads, let's try and, what would be some goals you would like to achieve next year as far as the podcast goes?
Well, more or less not just to the podcast, but the brand name of the House of Mario, I guess. I want to do a little bit more video content. I want to stream a bit more. Obviously, I've been AFK from streaming for ages.
Bro would be very happy.
Yes, he would.
You say that?
Combro would be very happy. Look,
in the Discord, always asking Bryce about when I'm streaming next.
When am I going to stream? And you know what? I feel bad for it because I do really enjoy streaming. It's just it's one of them. It's one of them motivation things in my mental health.
I mean, you made the purchase of the capture card and all this. Like you really want to do it. It's just I know when he asked to, and I'm just thinking about like what you're up to at the time. I'm like, oh yeah, he's not going to be streaming this week. I know just from what you're telling me of your work schedule or
exactly. Yeah, I've been really busy, and then on top of that, if I do manage to meet a schedule where I'm like, hey, I've got some free time, my mental health is just like.
Down, yeah.
Holy crap!
Feeling down. Just...
Like, it's not that okay. Mental health is a bit weird like that. Like, it just makes you feel like shit randomly, and like
and we all get it too.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I'm not saying I'm a special fucking snowflake at all. You know,
you're the only one who feels that way, Bryce. I don't know anyone else who ever feels down. No one does.
I like for me, it's been a big year positively and negatively. Like I've my mother's mother, my nana, I call her. She almost died this year in hospital due to like lung disease and pneumonia and a whole host of things. And she's really weak right now. She's in the status like she can't walk far at all. Yeah. My Oma, which is my father's mother, she had a fall this year after coming back from Adelaide, and then all of a sudden, for like 4 to 6 months, I didn't know where she was. And she lives pretty locally. She only lives 50 kilometers away. But my father's side of the family, because my father's not alive, they don't really keep in touch with me much, so she disappeared. Don't know where she was, and I went and saw her the other day, and that was really depressing because her memory is completely shot. She does not remember anything like in recent times or anything like that, and she's just completely changed. And it sucks because I know that I could have went there earlier and seen her, but after I had seen her, after I finally found out where she was, she'd already been that far because my father's family didn't tell me where she was, and I couldn't go and make those regular visits and stuff like that. So it's just like a whole host of things this year where I'm just like, yay, I'm happy, but then I think about these things and I'm just like, holy crap, I'm sad. You know,
just I guess the highs and lows of life.
Well, it is. Yeah, it's been a hard year for health in that regard. But in saying that, you know, like I can't say that I've had a bad year either. I've had a very positive year for a lot of things. But 2019's going to be. I have a feeling 2019's going to be pretty rough. I have a feeling I'm going to lose both my grandmothers next year, which is, you know, awful, but they're both doing terribly in health, and it's going to be a real hard blow because I'm going to lose a lot of connections to my dad's family. Yeah. Because I don't talk to them already, so what's going to make me talk to them now? And my nana, my mother's mother, she's really important to us, obviously, for very obvious reasons. And she'll be leaving a lot behind. I've got a kid coming this year, so I'm hoping that, you know,
that'd be a huge positive.
I hope. Well, yeah. I hope that both of them hold out till he's born and he gets to meet them, even if he's only a little baby, and you know, stuff like that. It's just the little things that make me go, I really hope that this happens. Really hope that this happens. Yeah. Enough about me though, because. But yeah, no. My point is that yeah, I've been a little bit slack, and I really want to push myself next year to do more. It's just been really hard through the second half of this year, I guess. Yeah. Which, yeah, I apologise for.
You're only human. What can you do?
Well, that's it. We're in the end. Yeah, for sure.
When I think back on this year, like on paper, it was a pretty. I actually didn't really think about it before, but it's a pretty big year for me, having bought this house this year.
Yes,
bought my first house.
Exactly. Yeah,
and like it feels like ages ago now. I guess, you know, it's almost a full year.
Well, it has been. Yeah, I mean, what, February?
Yeah,
exactly. It's been nearly a full year.
Yeah,
14th of February, I think it was.
Yeah, so that's a huge thing. First house, and set up this.
It's still not technically set up.
No, well, the thing is, it's got to be painted. It's got to be painted, and the electrician's got to come in and all this. And I'm just
yeah. And there's no point setting up everything till you get that work done.
Because like that desk, it's got to be packed up and moved and everything, and
yeah, I feel you. I feel you on that one.
I guess with this year, it's sort of just like buying the house. The podcast has been ticking along. I feel I set a few goals at the start of this year just for what to accomplish with the podcast.
Yeah,
and
you didn't fulfill all of them. Do you feel? Or
I feel like it. Like the people that do listen to it, seem to enjoy it. The ones we talk to, and every now and again get like comments and that about liking the podcast, whenever, and being able to go to events and being able to cover events and do interviews with people, and that was a big goal of mine, which we accomplished. And one at the very start of the year was like contact Nintendo Australia, and just leave it as that, like say what it's about. We ended up getting a free copy of Pokemon
Let's Go.
Yeah, Let's Go from them, and that was huge for the podcast. That will hopefully in the future go to other things or whatever.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to work with them more.
Yeah,
and I mean, I'd love to.
So we'll be able to get things earlier and be able to get opinions out there quicker, and
yeah. I think my major thing with working with Nintendo was just that relationship and that in general. Like we've been making content about them for the last year and over a half at this point. And it just I think just establishing that relationship in itself, which we've done this year, was already huge. I want nothing more than for that relationship to flourish, and obviously keep doing this content and keep pushing it and all that stuff. But never thinking of it as a kid, I was such a Nintendo fan, but I never thought that I'd be in a position as to be able to talk to people from there and get all these press release things and stuff like that are being sent to us, and like that's crazy to me.
Like we're still just a couple of
bumpkins
from the country,
absolutely. And I mean, I don't think that'll ever change. I think we'll always be bumpkins from the country. I don't think.
Yeah, we always will be. Like,
it's like I loved going to Melbourne and meeting people and doing all that type of thing. But I don't think you could ever get me to live in a city unless you were giving me the absolute dream job of my life. And as like I love this podcast to death. I don't think I'll ever make a huge career from it. Obviously,
probably not.
But like, just thinking of it in general, that even if we have to travel and spend that money and make those connections and stuff like that, it's just incredible to me that we can, make such a bold move on our own, just by continuing to do what we do, and it's a real big motivator for me at the very least, and I'm hoping that next year sort of pushes me to do that more. So, okay, you've had goals for this year. What are your goals for next year?
I don't know. It's it is sort of similar to what you said about the video content.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to learn how to edit for a while, and I finally bought the laptop, and I've still got to get the programs and that, but that won't be too big a deal. It's just mainly finding the time. Sort of late this year, from September to now, it's just flat out sharing.
Yeah,
and it's because it's such a physical job, it just drains you so much.
Absolutely,
I sort of can't come by the time I leave, it'll be 6:30 in the morning. I'll leave, and you work the day, you get back, and I've got to organise my gear and that for the next day. And I might not get home till 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So and the weekends, I'll just want to stay in bed.
Yeah.
Unless I have to go and mow the lawn or do something.
Do something actually productive as an adult.
Productive like that. Yeah. That's the thing about buying the house. Just God damn it, I've got so much more to do now.
Yeah. I'm in debt now. I got to owe my money to the man.
Yeah, the Commonwealth. Yeah, but yeah, video content. There was another one I was thinking too, but it's escaped my mind right now. I think actually it was like to clean up the podcast a bit. Maybe I really want to update the artwork for the podcast. Like what you're looking at right now was just like, all right, I want to get this thing
up and ready to push.
Up and ready. And even if that's my graphic design skills, which is zero.
And to a degree, it's become a little bit iconic to our podcast.
Just the Mario hat, yeah.
Just the Mario hat itself. But
I had in mind what I wanted. I had the color scheme.
Yeah.
And I had the thing. I just couldn't do much more than that.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully we'll see. Hopefully we'll do some updated stuff with it this year and make it look prettier and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to do anyway. But
and it really kills me the last few months where we haven't, for the most part, we haven't been able to do the skits as much.
Yes.
The last one we did was yours, and that was awesome. I remember listening to it. My heart just melted listening to Evie just when she talked. Oh,
it's great. I managed to get her to play Smash Bros.
Yeah, so the sort of video they have that go just
she thinks she loves Pikachu's crouch walking. She thinks it's hilarious. She's trying to push Little Mac off the stage in training mode.
Yeah,
but as soon as the CPU moves off stage, they dash back in. They try to run back in. So it's just her crouch walking, and then Little Mac is dashing her back in. So she's just constantly crouch walking. She thinks it's hilarious. But she actually used the C stick to do a couple things. And almost won herself a couple matches before throwing herself off the ledge to death.
Little Evo player.
I know. How crazy is that? But yeah, no. There's a lot in my mind that I want to do for next year, and I'm really keen to do it. But Christmas season is obviously one of the harder parts of our year.
Oh, we've got to get through it.
So we've got to get through that before we make too many changes. End of January, you'll obviously see me disappear a little bit because my son will be arriving. My son will be arriving.
Jesus Christ himself.
Yes, exactly. So I'll be gone for a couple weeks.
Please call him his first name Jesus?
No.
Jesus.
I'm already having a hard enough time naming my son at the moment. All right.
Oh, what names you got kicked?
I have no idea.
Yes, you don't?
No, I actually don't. Shit. I'm terrible with names, but
so am I. Remember how long it took us to name this goddamn podcast? It took a long time. But the only thing I know is that his middle name is James, and that's it. Yep. That's the only thing I know. At this point, I'm not sure what I want to do with the first name yet, so I'm still thinking about it. And it will come to me eventually. It's just, it's really difficult. You got to call that kid something for the rest of its life. You don't want to. Yeah, well, true.
You don't want to call it Apple, or Northwest.
Yeah, I was about to say Northwest. Yeah.
I don't want to be that parent. Thank you very much.
Call him Drew.
Nah.
That's just a silence.
Right. It's not that I don't like the name Drew, mate. It's just that you are my mate.
You can't have two Drews in your life, otherwise.
Exactly. That'd be weird.
It would be kind of weird, actually.
Little Drew.
What about Andrew?
No, I'm good. The problem is with naming conventions as well, is your partner's going to be okay with it, and that makes it really difficult because she really wants an Irish-based name, and then I'm just like, but I don't
really. Why?
Don't ask me.
Just because.
Don't ask me, man. It's a heritage. It's just sort of like, with Evie, we had a couple of ideas thrown around, and then eventually we came to Evelyn, and then that's where we went. But she was all of her name choices for the boy have been Irish, and then I'm kind of just like, look, it's not that I don't like Irish names, I just don't resonate with any of them.
So you've already got Evie. Why don't you have Pikachu?
Jesus Christ. It was not my intention to make it sound like a Pokemon, alright? That's just how a nickname came out. But yeah, no, so again, to wrap that up, because I'm not talking about names anymore, Jesus Christ.
How many bows do you have to put on it?
Do you know how many times I talk about naming this child every day? It's a lot. I get asked a lot. Have you
times.
named our child yet? I'm like, no.
Have you named our child yet?
I'm like, no.
No, have you birthed it yet?
No. I'm like, you realise that people have babies and they don't even name them for the first month or so. And then she's like, yeah, but I don't want to be that. I'm like, my point is I'm not late yet.
I don't think I had a name for a while. Or for a couple of days or whatever.
Until you settled, yeah. That's the thing as well. I feel like it's easier to name a child once that child's actually out.
Yeah, you look at it. Yeah, you look like a Fred.
Yeah, essentially, in you know, obviously a less jokingly way.
God, he's got a funny nose. Let's call him Terrence.
God damn it.
What about Terrence, or what about just Big Old Bill, like one name?
Big old
Bill.
Your dad must be proud of that joke.
Yeah. What about Bill? Bill.
I'm good.
What, the platypus Bill?
God.
Or a bill you pay?
All right, let's move on. I'm sick of talking about I talk about them like an hour to 2 hours on the daily and I still can't come up with one. Jesus Christ.
All right, so we usually talk about, obviously, Nintendo. Big shock. What's something we can sort of talk about, let the audience know us a bit better, other than I like Pokemon and you like Smash Brothers?
All right.
What's your favourite food, Bryce?
What's my favourite food?
Yeah, what's your favourite food?
Jesus God.
Jesus God. That's a tasty treat.
At the moment, it's like, ever since I was a kid, shepherd's pie was like my big thing. Like, I loved shepherd's pie.
Big shepherd's pie boy?
Love shepherd's pie. But
potato inside you?
If there's anything that's like a go-to meal for me to cook nowadays, it's Thai green curry.
Ooh. Because you love your spice, don't you?
I love my spice. And I also really like a good curry, which often at home it's just like if you go and order a curry from an Indian restaurant, you'll get like chicken and a sauce.
Yeah,
right.
Especially the one here in town. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
But like if you go to if you make a curry at home, you can put whatever you want in it. So I'll get like the works. I'll get like veggies, like multiple veggies, sort of thing, and then obviously the chicken, coconut milk, spices, etc. Have that with rice, and you've got like a full course meal.
Have that with rice.
Shut up. You get a full course meal out of it, is my point. And like, I get it, veggies aren't the most appealing thing to eat ever, but by God, when you cook them right, they're really nice. And obviously, if I go down to the Indian place that we have in town, their food is lovely, by the way.
It is good. Yeah, it's great.
It's fantastic, but there is no veggies in sight. It's all it's all meat and sauce.
When I go down to the Indian, I usually get the butter chicken.
Yeah,
usually because that's what I recognise.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of other things there. It's like, oh, this is good. But usually it's like, oh, what am I going to have? Just that. It's kind of like going to a pub and getting a schnitzel.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's just like the chicken and the sauce.
Exactly.
And the rice, which is just steamed rice. And that will cost you like, $25 or something?
Yeah.
Like, they must be making a killing off of it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, like, if I go and make a batch of Thai green curry, what I'll do is... Typically, we have potatoes at home. It's a staple, right? And then I'll buy 2 packs of stir-fried veggies, chicken, rice, coconut cream, and, the spice or whatever. And I'll boil up some potatoes, cut the chicken, cook the chicken and the veggies together while the potatoes are boiling. Roll them around the spice, chuck the potatoes in there, roll them around, chuck the coconut cream in, let all that simmer and stuff like that. But by the time I'm done with that, I've spent maybe $30.
Yeah.
And I've made enough to feed a literal army.
Oh, literally?
Well, I could be eating that curry for the next 3 days and still not be done. Like, that's just how much I make.
You love the stuff, so you'll probably just gobble it up like a little...
Well, that's just how much I make with $30. Like, you go out, you spend $25, like you said, you get a meal out of it.
Well, that's just... I think that's just cooking at home in general, really, isn't it?
Well, it depends, really. Like, some stuff is more expensive than others to cook, and sometimes you're just better off going out and buying it. Like, if I want a schnitzel or something like that, like, we have a dedicated schnitzel place in town, and their food's lovely. And as much as I'd like to say, hey, I can cook a better schnitzel at home, I can't. And, they have really good prices on their food. So it's just sort of like, if I want a schnitzel, I can go down there.
Because it's this end of town, so I'm way too close to it. That's my problem.
But their food is lovely, and I love it. So it's just sort of, well... In that case scenario, sure, but like if it's something like, obviously again like an Indian place where I can get a curry, I love curry and I love making curry, so it's not a big deal. I'll just cook it at home and make enough to last me the week, pretty much. And I save a hell of a lot more money doing it that way, and I get to eat it a lot more often.
See, I've got to admit, my cooking at home skills have not been really utilised much, especially in like the latter half of this year.
Uh-huh.
Just because, like I said, basically with the wanting to video edit, it's kind of the same with cooking. Get home, you're just like
can't be screwed. Yeah,
can't be screwed, and it's either something real simple at home, or it's like, oh, I'll just get something on the way home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you just got to experiment a bit more, and if you find a food you really like and you know that you can make it on the bulk, then
the start of this year was going really well. I was making buttered chicken and all that stuff at home.
Yeah.
You can put peas and whatever you want. It's good because like I need some vegetables every now and again. Keep me going. Not just naan bread, garlic naan bread.
Okay. All right. So food aside, let's push back a little bit to the subject of what our sub-subject is technically based off of, and that's gaming. This year, what is something you enjoyed, or what is something that has kept you coming back that's not Nintendo, if there is anything?
Be honest, this year there wasn't a whole... I know there was heaps of amazing games.
Oh yeah, there was
this year.
Tons. Yeah.
Not Nintendo.
No, I don't care if it's mobile. I don't care if it's, I don't care if it's PlayStation. I don't care if it's Xbox.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I want to say God of War, but I haven't even finished it yet, so I don't know if I'm allowed to say God of War. Because
have you even finished Spider-Man yet?
No.
See, I haven't even played that game yet because I've been waiting for you to finish.
Yeah. Well, the problem is those games came out like the busiest times of year for me.
Oh, yeah, I know.
God of War, I was absolutely fucked, and because the closest game store to us is a half an hour drive away. It's in another town.
Absolutely.
And I said, "Oh bugger it! I'll pay the $100 and I'll get it on the PlayStation Network." Downloaded it and I played it all weekend, but then the week happened, and the next weekend I just didn't play it, and that's 2 weeks separated, and it just blew out from there, and I haven't gone back to it.
Yeah, it fell out.
Like I played 18 hours the first weekend, loved it.
But that's still what I'm talking about though. Like that really, obviously, when you look at Nintendo titles this year, you've obviously spent a lot of time on Pokemon, but that's something that you're very passionate about. But
it's like a comfort food almost as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Pokemon and Smash is like my comfort food when it comes to gaming.
But God of War tore you away from Nintendo for a weekend. And really, really did that sort of thing.
Yeah, I really haven't played that many games this year, which is something like every year you look to the next year and say, I hope I'll play more games, finish more games the next year, clean up your backlog and all that. But it never happens for me. It just goes worse and worse when
I feel you.
More and more work comes up and more responsibilities and all that stuff. Especially when it's like, all right, I've got free time. Then it's the podcast, editing the podcast.
Yeah,
and this takes up the free time as well.
Yeah,
but then it's like a chicken and egg thing because you need to actually be playing like Switch games as well to be able to talk about them and to be able to do that stuff too. But
yeah, I don't mean to get that.
Yeah. What about you? I probably know where you're going to go.
My gaming habits don't change, really. The thing is with me in gaming is that I'm a big fan of games I can consistently play. So, I as a kid, back in the days of Nintendo 64, even if I had finished a game several hundred bloody times, I'd play them again. So I just liked that aspect of being able to continuously play something that I love. So you could imagine as something like that, I'm obviously a huge MMO fan because MMOs never friggin' end. I have a lot of my socialization in general comes from online gaming. Kind of sad in a way, I guess. But when we're in that age pool where everybody's just starting to get really busy, and they're making their own dreams and goals and stuff like that. People are getting married, they're buying houses, they're having children, which I fall right into that category. Yeah. Because of the category of job I work, none of my times ever line up to catch up with anyone. So a lot of my socialization comes from playing online games and talking to people from all around the world and stuff like that. So while it's been slack of recent, because I haven't really logged in or anything like that, I've played Final Fantasy 14 all year, as I have for the last 5 years. I've dropped a couple games. I dropped Overwatch because of several reasons. I picked up League of Legends again.
Ooh. Crack cocaine.
Well, no, not really. It used to be absolute crack cocaine for me because I used to be very competitive. But nowadays, I'm sort of just like... I play it mainly casually and don't really have too much of a problem with it anymore. I just kind of missed PvP in a sense, but I'm sick of playing shooters, if that makes sense. So there was that. Titles I played this year, I played, God of War. That was fantastic. What else did I play? Jesus. I played God of War.
You played a lot of games.
I played Red Dead. I finished Red Dead last night, finally. I finally did the last little bit of Red Dead last night. I'd been waiting for that game for years. What else? I don't know. There's just like a whole host of things. All that stuff really tears me away from Nintendo, but Nintendo, again, like you, it's sort of comfort food, and Smash has been like that, like, at the moment. If I'm not doing something on the game that's in front of me, like Final Fantasy or League or something, I'm waiting for a queue or something like that, I just flip my screen over. I'll play Smash on that until my queue pops. My queue will pop. I'll play it until I get in the game. I'll play that game. I'll repeat. And then, like, it's sort of just in between. I'm just practicing Smash. So, really, it's just been, like, just continuously doing my usual things. And then, if something comes out in between, like God of War or, obviously Red Dead Redemption 2, I'll invest a shit ton of time into them. I think Red Dead took me about 80 hours.
Yep.
Or something like that. So I'm glad I got through that.
That's something I really want to... I don't think I'll be able to do it, but I'd love to be able to balance my time, fit more gaming in. I'd really love to play some more games next year. Because there's already so many games lined up to come out within the first 3 months of next year.
Yeah. If anything, that's the one thing I drive myself to do, and that's, play game. Like when I get home, obviously I'll spend time with my family and whatever and anything like that. But it's just sort of like my kid goes to bed, time to play a video game. I don't care if it's League of Legends. I don't care if it's Final Fantasy. I don't care if it's Smash. I don't care if it's I don't care if it's Pokemon. I don't care if it's a game on my phone. I don't give a shit. I'll play something for a little bit, and then I'll go from there. If I want to go to bed in an hour, or I want to go to bed in 2, or I want to go to bed in 3, or something like that, or I want to do something completely different, sit down and watch a movie. It's just like, if gaming feels like something you have to schedule nowadays because how long games are.
Yeah, so that's the problem I face. Just like I wish stuff wasn't getting longer and longer, and also games like wanting more,
demanding your time.
Yeah, time, money. Like you need a lot now. Like, hey, get the DLC, get this, get the yearly subscription or whatever.
Yeah,
that's why it was great that weekend. Just like I've only played Fortnite like a couple of times, and that was that weekend where I just jumped in and played with you a bit. Mm-hmm. Like just jump in. I didn't pay anything. I didn't do anything. I just sort of jumped in, had fun. I thought that was great.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think for me though, I don't have to plan much for games. I'll go pick up a game, I'll play it, and then whatever. Obviously, like I said, I love Red Dead. I love Red Dead, and I've been waiting for the sequel for ages. But I only just got to finishing it last night. I've been on that last chapter for Jesus, well over a month now.
Yeah, it's a long chapter right here. Yeah.
it's actually relatively short. The last epilogue.
Yeah, I heard what happens.
Yeah,
like I was listening to one of the Kind of Funny podcasts, and they're like, "All right, we're going to spoil Red Dead now." And at the time, I was shearing a sheep. I couldn't pause it or anything. I'm like, "Yeah, well, here we are."
Rip.
I didn't mind too much. I had no idea when I was going to if I'll ever
get around to it, yeah.
Because like the backlog on my PlayStation is like, all right, God of War, Spider-Man. I've got Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah, you literally bought it. It's right here in front of you.
I bought it because it was $39. I'm like, I really want to play that game. It looks good. So I got it while it was on cheap from EB Games. I'm getting Detroit Become Human for Christmas because I never picked that up. I said to my girlfriend when it was on the Black Friday sale, I said, it's $29 at Big W. That will cover me for Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah,
they had God of War and all that there for $29 as well.
Yeah.
So holy shit.
Yeah, crazy
awesome
stuff. Yeah. So, I don't know. I guess that's me and you this year for gaming.
It's pretty lackluster on, especially my I played a lot. You asked about non-Nintendo. I played a lot of indie games and.
Oh yeah, absolutely, you did. Yeah. Which is good.
Because like I found myself like, all right, I've got to play more Switch because I've got to. That's the platform we cover,
right?
Like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I still play a lot of Switch anyway. It's just it's just my free time. Most people are like twiddling around on their phones or something like that, and I'm usually got my head stuck in a game because that's the time I've got to game.
Yeah,
I just force myself to be like, hey, game time.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to do that too. Maybe if you've been on Facebook for
it's so
5
easy
minutes, because you can be on there for 5 minutes. So, all right, time to get off. No one's saying anything interesting. Play a game or do something where
it's easy to get lost in your phone. That's the problem.
Yeah,
I mean, I do that all the time. I'll like leave for work early because I'm just like, I never know. Well, I say to myself it's because I never know what's going to happen, but I know it's because I can sit in the car park, browse my feeds before I go into work, and say that I've had my daily scroll.
Yeah, like you go from Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah, Twitter, Facebook,
emails.
Reddit, emails.
Then like, oh, something might have happened back from Twitter. You go back to like, oh,
exactly.
It's a shit cycle, isn't it?
It absolutely is
and
a shit cycle.
I bet every single one of you guys listening do it as well.
Absolutely.
Like, you have your apps lined up on the top of your phone and you just cycle through them.
So that's just it. Like, and it's easy to get into that mood when you leave work and come home too, instead of doing something like playing a game or whatever. And I used to do it a shit ton until I told myself, hey, I'm spending too much time on social media.
Because like maybe if you're on your laptop and you're on Facebook, maybe it's like, all right, there's nothing interesting going on. Maybe open up a program, learn how to use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Go and download Unity, learn how to make a video game. Like,
just drive yourself.
That actually sounds like a great New Year's resolution for me.
Put down social media a bit.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
Like on your phone now, like I know at least the iPhone, they've got the ability in it to like give you an update. Like, hey, you've been on it. Like I get it every week. It says you've been on Twitter this much each day and all up for the whole week. This is how much you've been on Twitter.
Yep.
Be interesting to bring up like stats actually. Yeah.
Well, see, and I said this to someone who I communicate with on Final Fantasy, met him on Final Fantasy, haven't added on Facebook. He's from New South Wales. Shout out to Mr. John Warren.
Johnny.
Beautiful man. He's deleting his Facebook next year because, he's an SES volunteer, but he recently lost his job as well, which sucks. And he's found that ever since he's been home, social media, particularly Facebook, has chewed up a shit ton of his time. So he said, I'm putting it down next year. If you need a method of contact, I've got a mobile phone number, I've got Discord, all that stuff. So just message me and let me know. And then I'm just sort of like, yeah, good for you. Because really... And that's not sarcastic, by the way. It sounded sarcastic. Hell, it's absolutely not sarcastic. Because ever since I picked up Twitter, I've found I've been using Facebook less, and I'm glad that I have.
I'm in that boat too, yeah.
Facebook used to absolutely suck the life out of me because of the amount of drama that's sitting around that I'm getting involved in and doing stupid shit like that. But Twitter, I've not had that problem. Which is fantastic.
My phone time, it's actually looking quite good at the moment because I've been at work and I can't look at my phone really. But for the last 7 days, I've had 2 hours and 55 minutes per day.
Oh,
which is absolutely nothing. Well, not per day, but like so shit. So I've been on YouTube on my phone for 5 hours and 2 minutes, Facebook for 3 hours and 30 minutes, Twitter for 2 hours and 42 minutes, then Chrome, Twitch, whatever. Pocket Casts for 1 hour and 4 minutes, but that counts like being on it, not just listening.
Yeah,
whatever. So so there's like 3.5 hours. So just Twitter and Facebook together, that's 5 hours a week. Could be doing
something else.
Doing anything else. And like you don't have to get rid of them altogether, obviously. Like you still want to go in there, and we were saying at the start of the episode how good it was, like talking to everyone and interacting with each other, and we've got to put up stuff for the podcast and that every now and again.
And I mean, all that stuff is fine. It's just when you get into those. It's when you get into those scroll.
Yeah.
Those scroll sessions where you just don't stop. Like I like social media, but goddamn, if it doesn't make me realize how much time I'm actually wasting just like looking into other people's lives.
Yeah. So.
If that makes sense, and I really shouldn't be. I should be focusing on my own or doing something that I enjoy or something that actually makes me happy. Which is again
like scrolling Reddit.
Yeah, fucking Reddit. I'm not even going to look at mine. I don't even know how to check mine, and I'm not going to, because mine would be awful. But
like I said, mine's actually down because I can't actually check it.
Yeah.
At the moment.
I mean, the other thing is like I can have my socials open on my second screen on my computer and play something on the other screen, and then like in downtime in games and stuff like that, I'll scroll.
You're right.
Yeah, no, I got a really itchy eye.
He's just scratching his eye like anything. I'm like, you're right, mate.
I don't know what's going on.
Have you got hives? Are you allergic to my hair?
Yes.
No, I'll keep it out your eyes then. Sorry.
I got something in my eye. I don't know what it is.
Is it a tear?
No.
This is the last episode of 2018. Is it bittersweet?
God. No, I actually think it was itchy to begin with, but now I've got like Tabasco sauce that I had on my fingers and I've put it in my eye.
That's enough. Just going back to food quickly. I've never seen someone put so much bloody pepper on their food.
Why do people bring this up every time about?
Because it is an extraordinary amount of pepper.
I love pepper.
I can see. I can tell.
Blame it on my grandfather, alright? My grandfather loved pepper too.
See, just my thinking is, your food, like, do what you want, do what makes you happy, do what tastes good to you. I couldn't give a shit, but it's just such an extreme amount of pepper.
Shut up.
Can you please take a photo of it and put it on Twitter next time you have a big pepper?
Look, alright,
pepper
I put a really healthy dose of pepper on my food because I enjoy pepper.
Oh, she's healthier, right? She is pumping.
I love pepper. I think pepper is a really brilliant spice. I think it's great.
It is good.
It's a very generic spice, but I like pepper on my things. All right.
Yeah. Well,
is that a massive problem?
It's not a problem at all. It's just it's a huge amount of pepper.
Oh, shut up.
Well, anyway, going back, if you're just going to tell me to shut up, you're not going to take this conversation any further, are you?
No. It's just I like pepper on my food. Leave me alone.
And that's fair enough. I'm just saying that's a lot of pepper. But what's another...
I'm not saying, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I just contradicted myself. What's another New Year's resolution, you reckon? We haven't really thought about these, but...
Well...
Be a better human being.
I just think I need to manage myself better next year, really. That's all I've really got to say about it. I think there's a lot I could be doing that I'm missing out on because I'm not managing myself, so I need to do that better. I need to obviously save more money because money is important, but I waste a lot of it.
All that bloody pepper.
Shut up. Podcast is over. See you later, boys. It's not really much different than that. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, keep pushing what we're pushing, and keep growing with this community as we are, and improving myself for myself's sake.
Yeah, no, that sounds pretty good. I don't know what else more than you want than that, really.
No, well, that's it, isn't it? Really.
I guess I'm the same way. Just, I think the managing time and yourself is great place to start.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Sort of like handle the times you're feeling, flat and meh better rather than,
rather than just being like, fuck it.
Rather than just like sitting down and watching TV, maybe go for a walk or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Find something that's a little more productive.
Play Smash Bros. That's probably... we got that now.
Even that's productive. It's better than sitting down watching a TV show. Because most of the time I'm rewatching something I've already watched before.
Yeah. Because my girlfriend, she was really into Vampire Diaries on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And she watched... We watched... I actually started watching it probably the later half of it, and I got into it as well. And now she's watched 8 seasons, and now she's like back on season 1.
Yeah. She's rewatching it again.
Yeah, she's watching it right now.
Exactly. Yeah, I can hear it. I can still hear it.
Because I was in bed at the time, and she must have got up and started watching it, and I could hear their voices. I'm like, I thought we finished that show. She's watching it again.
It's just a vicious cycle. That's how it gets you. It just makes you go over and over and over.
Could be worse. Could be like rewatching like Big Brother or one of those reality shows. What do you think about them? They're meh.
I think reality shows are dead at this point, don't you? Like
you reckon they're as big as ever? They've got The Bachelor on and The Block, and it's all over the Australian TV.
In my opinion, it's never been any more dead to me, to be completely honest with you. Big Brother was like it's introductory and pretty much its peak.
Do you ever watch normal TV though?
No, not anymore.
Yeah, so that's all that's on normal TV. That's why I don't watch it either.
Yeah,
it's just like
it's bullshit. It's garbage. I hate it. Jade tunes in for whatever love related shows in every week on a friggin' 7 Now or whatever the hell it is.
Those apps. I'm like, you've got access to YouTube, Netflix, Stan, like whatever streaming service, and Chantel she goes on the 7 Now app and watches The Block. I'm like, God. She's like, we can do this to that room and whatever. I'm like, oh my God.
Don't take advice from The Block.
I'm like, Chantel, look at this. This is The Block. These are the people on it. Look at all the other people who are actually doing the work. It's not just the two of them.
No, exactly.
It's the 100-man team they've also got.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a couple of netballers on, and like that. There's like a couple of women, and they had no idea how to do it. Like they had like the idea of how to decorate it and how to make it look nice, but when it came to like doing making the walls and doing the electrician work and all that, it's just like, maybe not.
Just when you put it in that context. So, how long have we been in this show now, Drew?
52 minutes.
52 minutes, cool. I reckon that sounds about right for me to ask the final question that I want to ask you.
What is life?
No, not quite. I was actually going to say, what's got you hyped for 2019?
Ooh.
Could be anything. Could be games releases. Could be plans you've got going on. Could be...
I guess plan-wise, just pushing on with this, doing the video stuff, cleaning up the podcast, hopefully getting it into some new people's ears. That would be great. Game-wise, really looking forward to the next Pokemon game. That's pretty much a given for me. I was talking to you about it before. Don't know what it's going to look like. Really looking forward to getting on the hype train again. Because we're on the hype train all this year, just Pokemon Let's Go. They announced it, did a podcast straight away, every bit of information, we're talking about it. The game comes out. Cool, it was fun. Then it'll happen again. It's like, these are the starter Pokemon. What do you think of those, Bryce? Go and play the game. Oh yeah, it was fun. Not much to do at the end though. Where's the post-game content?
I knew it was coming.
Yeah. That's got to be a meme for this show as far as Pokemon goes.
Where's the post-game?
Yeah, where's the post-game? Like, it's got 8 gyms and it's got a Pokemon League, but
no post-game.
Where's the post-game? Where is the post-game? What about you, sir?
There's a lot of reasons to be hyped next year. I mean, obviously, I've got the little boy coming along. That's pretty early on. Obviously, it's actually like a week and a half after Kingdom Hearts, which I'm super hyped for.
So you got to play that quick.
So I got to play that quick before that baby's ready to pop. So there's going to be, hopefully, because obviously a shit ton of them aren't confirmed yet, but there's a shit ton of them. Okay, I was trying to be sensible. There's a shit ton of games with no release dates, and
there's heaps. None of them have release date.
Tons.
Really looking forward to Animal Crossing.
I'm so surprised we didn't see Yoshi this year. That was weird as hell.
At E3, we were sort of expecting it, and it didn't come out.
Yeah, stuff like that, or we've got Metroid Prime 4 on the horizon, Bayonetta 3. Just there's a whole host of games that should either be somewhere in 2019 or early 2020, that make me just go, holy crap, I'm hype. I want to see all these games come out. It's going to be it's going to be a real big push for Nintendo this year in terms of sort of more adult content with Metroid and Bayonetta
and Animal Crossing.
Shut up.
It gets dark.
It gets dark, alright.
It's the time of the shut up, Ross. It's not very nice, alright?
You know what I mean, okay? Just there's just so many things.
I'm just trying to have a chat with you, and you're just telling me to shut up
because you're a sarcastic. You're being sarcastic as fuck.
Oh, look, mate, I'm not being sarcastic. I've just got this tone on because I am quite upset.
God damn it.
Anyway, go on. Sorry, mate.
It's also my daughter's first year at kindergarten this year, and I mean we've been preparing for that. We're getting a toilet trained. She's doing brilliantly with that, and that's great. And it'll be interesting to see what happens when she goes off to school and be in that position that we were once in. Like so long ago now. I'd have to say
it was a while ago,
20 odd years. Looking at it from that perspective, be interesting to see what happens with that. And
might be 19 years for me. I'm 24.
No, it's about 20 years kindergarten.
When do you start that? 5?
4.
You start 4, do you?
Yeah, mate.
There you go.
She's 4 next year.
Yeah.
She starts going once a week next year, early next year. So,
all right.
Yeah,
really soon.
Yeah. I don't know how quite soon we're putting her into it, but I just know it's a thing because they have to get used to being away from their parents and all that stuff, and that's just how it is. So, it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds, and I want to have that experience of raising a child again and seeing. It'll be the last time I do it. I'm thinking it will be, because as much as I love kids in the economy climate we're currently living in, it's way too expensive to have more than 2, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be the last time that I really get to experience that early portion of fatherhood again. So I'm really keen for that. There's looking forward, we've got another PAX, which is hype as hell.
Oh, sorry, go on. I just remembered something I'd love to do next year.
Okay. It's on the cards, but of course money is always dependent on things like this. But I've been invited to a wedding in the United States, in Ohio, and I would absolutely 100% love to go to that, but it's going to require a lot of hard effort and hard work. It also depends on the situation of the year. So,
what time of year is it?
September, late September.
Yep.
So, I'm hoping that I manage to meet my goal for that and get over there and enjoy the wedding and spend a week and a half or so in the States, and then come back and just say that I did it. Yep. It'll probably be one of the only times I go over there, simply because traveling's not cheap.
Yeah, kids' money.
Yeah, and the only reason I have a reason to go over there, I'm not going over there to gallivant. It's just there's a wedding going on, and I want to
go
be
over
part
there,
of it.
get Taco Bell, come back.
Jesus Christ!
Because we were talking about that before.
Absolutely, yes. I love Taco Bell.
Have you had it before?
No, I don't need to. I just look at it.
You just know you'll love it.
I just know I'll love it. I love Mexican food. So. There's a whole host of things for me to be excited about next year, but it's there's a lot of it that's just dependent, and I hope that despite that dependency, that a lot of them come true. You know, we get that Metroid release next year. I get to go to the US. That my daughter does well in kindergarten. All that stuff. You know, there's a whole lot of stuff to be like pseudo hyped about, but also have to be on the cautious side because I can't get too hyped for it. Otherwise, I'll be upset when it gets shot down in flames. Yeah. So we'll see. But 2019 is going to be a very interesting year.
Yeah, for sure.
I definitely can see it coming ahead. Anyway, what was the last thing you had to put in?
I was thinking just like as far as things to aim for with the podcast, what I'd love to do at one of these shows, probably AvCon, just because it's a smaller show, have like our own panel where we do the House of Mario, do this podcast live.
It would be nice.
That's always been something I'm like, I don't know how I'd go at it because, you know, I'm not like, if I get up on a stage in front of people, I don't know if I'd be, obviously I won't be like this, just like talking shit necessarily, but I don't know how nervous I would get, how whatever.
Yeah.
But it's something I'd love to do. I think it'll be a lot of fun to do.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with it this year. I'm not too sure. You know, only time will tell.
If anyone's interested in a live panel and you're Adelaide based,
yeah, let us know.
Yeah, let us know, yeah.
I can't guarantee we might get like the 1 or 2 people come in. They're like, yeah, woo. I don't know much else. I suppose we'll find out.
Yeah, we just got no one there, so oh well.
It's alright, we'll just do a live show anyway and pretend we're famous.
You do like a live recording. It's like, you know, welcome to the House of Mario live, and you just hear like where you would expect like, yeah. You just hear like, anyway, moving. It's like a big echo. Yeah. All right, Bryce, let's end the show.
Yeah, let's end the show. So
let's end it with a bunch of thank yous, I think.
Yes, absolutely. I was about to say. So, do you want to start the roll?
First of all, thank you very much to everyone in the 8-Bit Collective. Brendan, I'm not going to name everyone's name because I'll end up forgetting one. I'll feel real bad. But just everyone's help and support over the year. Just whether it was like, hey, I need a bit of advice on this question I want to ask, or you know, whether it was Brendan saying, hey, I've got access to AvCon. Would you like to go as a part of
which was our first foray.
The collective, yeah. which you know gave us a taste and gave us an opportunity to be able to do the things we did this year,
yeah,
and all that. So yeah, thank you very much.
I've already said it once, but I want to thank pretty much everybody within the communities that we're involved in. Yep. You know, podcasting communities, media creation communities for, you know, video gaming and the likes. Obviously, you know, you got people like Dash and Buddy who are always, you know, keeping in contact with us, being on the show, talking about us on their show, and we got heaps of support from the guys over at Explosion Network with our podcast and the Dash Awards this year.
Yeah, that was huge for us.
That was huge. Yeah, you know, all the interactions we made on Twitter and with the podcast, talking to, you know, we spent a good amount of time with. I think we spent several lunches with Paul James this year at PAX, so that was fantastic.
What I love about it all is like when you look at the iTunes charts or whatever, it's just like all of the big outlets in America, San Francisco, whatever, as far as video games goes. But our little community has so many talented people talking about video games, making content about video games.
Without a doubt. You know, so many people that are passionate about, you know, gaming. And, you know, they know their stuff. They're working really hard to make something of themselves. They're doing it for pretty much bupkis, just because they love doing it.
It's like Paul James. He's always you know, he's been writing for Player 2. He's been doing his video content, but just since PAX, he's been doing the video dev diary.
The dev diaries, yeah.
Yeah, and not the video dev diary, but yeah, this is the dev diary.
The dev diaries.
Don't know why I said video, but like I've listened to the first 3 episodes, and they're just absolutely fantastic. The way he does the interviews with everyone and gets the developers on, it's awesome. It's just everyone's got their own little thing they bring.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I love to see everyone just grow together and Yeah, it's like even like the explosion
network,
the explosion network, just with all their stuff they do, it's all awesome, and yeah, love it.
Thank you to everybody who supported us in the Dash Awards, especially. That was like the absolute top cap off to our year. It's really hard to put into words how crazy I think it is that we managed to pull that off. But we're so glad that we made that push on social media and all that stuff, and you guys voted for us, and we cannot thank you enough. That was huge for us, just as two country bunk, you know. So I gotta thank you that much.
Yep, and I want to thank all of our main people in our Discord community. Having you guys in the Discord chat every day, every week, whatever it might be, to like discuss stuff, and whether it's getting feedback on the show or just discussing our favorite games or favorite pickups, whatever it might be. I want to thank you very much. So thank you very much to Luke. I'm just going through like the Discord thing to make sure I don't miss anyone. Combro, Dane Peavy, DJ, Delfino Durans, Sam Hay, Flapjack Ashley, Simon, Tamazoid, Metadox. And it's the meta game now.
Yes, he is, but yeah. Sorry, Meta, you'll always be known as Metadox.
Yeah, he will be. And yeah, they're our main boys and girls, maybe. I don't know.
You want JDP? I don't even think you hit. You insulting man. He was like flicking through these lists of people and he...
No, he's not. He's not on that little list there.
That's weird.
Am I on the right list? I don't even know.
Good question. Hang on, let me pull out my phone and I'll do a readout, shall I?
I'm so sorry, Jamie.
Poor Jamie Penning.
Because Jamie, your support over this year has been absolutely phenomenal.
Literally, it has been.
On Twitter, Discord.
It's been bloody well crazy.
Getting behind us on the Dash Awards. Even doing that tweet where he made the House of Mario car in the F1 game.
Yeah.
How nice was that? Like, it was really cool to see.
Absolutely. So yeah, thank you to Luke. Thank you to Combro. Thank you to Dane PV.
Why is he not on my list?
I don't know.
I just went to the House of Mario members.
Thank you, Delfino Durians. Thank you, Flapjack Ashley. Thank you, Hay. Thank you, Hay.
Thanks, Hay.
Thanks, Sam Hay. Sorry, all right. Thank you, Jamie Penning. Thank you, Tam.
This is not the most broken.
Thank you, Brendan Tam. Thank you, Metadox. What else? Who else am I missing? Who else am I missing that chats all the time?
No, this is a mess.
It is an absolute mess. But seriously, no, the Discord community is, I log in every day. And I talk Nintendo with people that I would not have met if it weren't for what we're doing. Our Discord is just it's a comfy little home, really. And while I manage it and it's a bit cluttered up right now, I got a question about verified PAL and ranking, and the reason it's
you got no idea
as the way it is. And it's because I have no idea, guys. All right, I made it ages ago. I promised to fix up the rankings. It'll happen. It's
the rankings. You're gonna
the titles. It'll be figured out next year.
We're gonna give like someone first, someone second. You're like,
shut up.
Oh, here we go. Tell me to shut up. God,
you're being so rude. You're being so rude. So that'll all be fixed up next year. But yeah. I just wanted to really, really sincerely, and we've mentioned it so many times, but it's people like you guys in the Discord that just absolutely drive us to make content, because we love discussing the episodes with you and your opinions and talking about what what's new on Nintendo, or even just
what's old in Nintendo,
or it's something we're so passionate about. And meeting people like this has been crazy for us. I don't think there will ever be a point in time, no matter how big or small we remain, that I'll stop interacting with the community like we do.
Yeah, for sure. That's what it's all about.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Like, I don't know how people just go ahead and, you know, start something and make it grow and grow and grow, and then all of a sudden just stop interacting with the people that initially, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how that happens, to be completely honest with you. Maybe it's exhausting trying to keep up with all the comments and stuff like that, and maybe it's just sometimes it's just better to stop talking so people stop getting flustered about you not replying to them specifically, but
one thing I do want to say, as far as just like the people, like you guys who listen, I remember when another castle community, which was a gaming community, which I know some of you guys out there were and still are a part of. They used to do a podcast each month, and I got to go on there a couple of times, and I really enjoyed it, like actually being on a podcast, like one with people who I listen to and stuff. Mm-hmm. So next year, whether it's maybe Bryce is out or, you know, it is the two of us, I'd love to have some of you guys on. I know I've already talked to a couple of you guys who listen to the show to come on the podcast and talk Nintendo and have some fun. And, you know, the invitation is out there to anyone who, you know, has a microphone which they are able to record their sound and an internet connection with Skype, and that's all you need, really. Yeah. So the invitation is open. The doors are open to the House of Mario next year if you'd like to come on. Yeah. Yep. So just contact me on Twitter, my DMs, or otherwise. I guess if you don't have Twitter and you can't do that, come into the Discord and
message you privately from there.
Yeah, tell me that. And there is a invitation to the Discord in the show notes.
As always.
And the last thank you is the most important one, which is thank you to the person listening right now. Thank you for listening to this episode. I know it was very
weirdly transitioned.
Yeah, it's just a big conversation where we're like, let's change the topic.
But I mean, it's damn true, really. Like, if you aren't listening, then where is this message going?
I know a lot of the podcasts I listen to, I haven't sent an email in. I haven't said anything on Twitter. I haven't done anything. It's just you're just a silent listener, and we appreciate that so much for you listening to our podcast, for you allowing us to talk for a week.
That'd be the episode, boys.
An hour of a week in your lineup. Mm-hmm. All right, it's 12 o'clock here. I am dying. You know what I'm really looking forward to?
Hitting the hay. By that I mean Hay, not Haigh.
I'm not going to hit Sam Hay.
No.
I can't wait to do the podcast where I'm not absolutely knackered.
Yeah.
The last 4 or 5 episodes I've just been stuffed doing it.
It has been mental for the both of us. It has been mental. I can't wait for Christmas season to be over and everything to go back to semi-normal at the very least.
Yeah.
Right? Like, obviously I'm going to have more responsibilities going forward, but you know what? I think I could deal with one baby much better than I could in comparison of like 50 drunk people. And, you know.
Same situation, like in your house. In like the same room. So you open the door, it's just like your baby like crying. It's like, all right, I can handle that. But in another dimension, right? You open the door, it's just like 50 drunk people. It's like, what the fuck?
Dear Lord.
All right, let's get the hell out of here, Bruss.
Yeah, absolutely. So, thank you everyone that we mentioned, and more that we obviously missed.
That's what I hate. Like, you
miss
something, aren't you?
That's the thing. Like, we could sit here and write a list, but honestly, there's just too many of you to count.
The plan was to actually write a list, but we finished work at 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
and we're like, 10 o'clock PM.
We need to get this out because you're going to Adelaide tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to Adelaide for Christmas. I'm like, all right, we got to record an episode.
Yeah, because by the time he gets back from Adelaide, we're stuffed for the following week.
Mm.
We've got absolutely no time, and that's why we're taking a couple weeks break. So thank you to everyone who we didn't mention. You absolutely know who you are. I feel like even if we did make a list in the short amount of time we had, we still would have missed a shit ton of people, and we'd feel even worse about that because we made a damn list, right? So it's very impromptu, but thank you everyone who supported us this year and who supports us beyond this year. We have loved doing the show from day one. It's now episode 76. We're on that climb to 100, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, next year.
Yeah, exactly. So, thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah. And the Nintendo Jukebox this week is us. I reckon we'll put the Dash Culture rap.
the DC rap?
Yeah, we'll reuse that. Our skit from earlier this year when we had Dash and Buddy on.
What a way to cap off the year.
Yeah. Bryce, sir, it's been a pleasure.
It has been a pleasure. Happy New Year to you, Drew.
You too, Bryce.
Happy New Year to everybody listening. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas, because by the time this episode's out, it will have already been Christmas.
You'll be bloated on turkey.
What?
They'll already be bloated on turkey.
Oh, bloated on turkey, right. Okay. Yeah. I thought you said bloated on turkey. I'm like, what do you want about? So, enjoy the rest of 2018, guys. Have a happy new year.
Yes.
Had to end it off with one last yes for the year.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what you usually do to me. Yes.
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 Yeah.
See ya.
Oh, God.
Here we go. So we're finally here, recording for you, but here comes some dudes that will join in too. Put your cheeks together and make them flap as we take you through the House of Mario rap. DC Dash Culture.
They're a pop culture podcast that cover all bases, and they're here to cover empty aces. They're hot takes, can fire in spurts, and when you hear them, your brain will burst.
They talk movies, music, and gaming too. They're hot shot members
of the 8-bit crew.
DC Dash Culture. DC Dash Culture is here.
This host's got style, so listen up, dudes. Dash can create fun art to reflect his mood. He's calm and collected when he needs to be. He can rock the mic and make it look like a breeze. If you bring up esports, it won't be long before he hits you with, "You are wrong."
DC Dash Culture. He has no stutter. His facts are ace. This host has a fantastic face. He can podcast even finer than Drew, and give his opinion just for you. Explain himself about his view. Buddy here is one slick dude. DC Dash Culture. DC Dash Culture is here.
Movies, music, gaming that sells. Here come the hosts from the top of the shelves. I said movies, music, gaming that sells. Here come the hosts from the top of the shelves. I said movies, music, gaming that sells. Here come the hosts from the top of the shelves.